Hello everyone, thank you for coming back to yet another episode of The Glowing Paradigm. I am your host, Peter, aka LPD Dubuque, and this week, gonna be an interesting week because I get to cover something that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, nor is there really any way to quantify it because it's one of those things that's been so synonymous with the gloving community that I don't think anyone can really tell you what is the purpose of what I'm going to be talking about. And of course, what is it I'm going to be talking about? Gloving teams. And specifically gloving team names. Main reason why I wanted to cover this is because it was just something I was sitting there thinking as I was scrolling through the Facebooks and the Reddits to look at all the light show videos that people put up or the finger shows that people put up, and something just kind of dawned on me about teams and team names and how they actually came to be. So first things first, I do want to talk about how teams have just been so synonymous within the gloving community. I can't even think, even when I started back in 2010, teams were a thing, and there was a nice plethora of them. You had PM, which is Puppet Masters, TM, which is Tutting Movement, you had TNT, which is Tuts and Trance, and of course you had things like Team E, which is Team Amazing Lights. There's just a good plethora of them, especially like someone like AO, that was a very synonymous team, and it's just kind of funny to sit here and think about how no one really actually talked about like what is it about teams and what makes a team and what a team is all about. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start off with the first question of why would you want or have a team? Really simple. In my opinion, there are two main reasons why people do it. It's like any fandom starts out there, you just want to be around like-minded people, that share a love for an aspect of something that you enjoy. In this case, it would be gloving. Maybe there's something specific in gloving that you like. Maybe you like impacting the most. Maybe you like conjuring the most. Maybe you like teleporting the most. Whatever the case may be, you tend to want to have a nice little close-knit family type people in your life that you can share and express your love for that particular aspect of gloving. That's one main reason, at least in my opinion, that's what I've seen. Another one is, establishing a network of people that you can pretty much work with on various projects, meet up at different festivals, go to different competitions if that was, if that's the case. Whatever the case may be, you're establishing a network of people that you can work with and you can talk to about various things. So those are the two main reasons why you would either want to have a team or want to be on a team, is for those specific reasons, in my opinion. But I am certainly going to say right now that is not the only reason why you should be on a team or want to have a team. So you get a few friends, you get a few people, you decide you're going to make a team. Awesome. What is your team going to be about? Well, here are a few ideas to help you come up with a name for your gloving team. Okay, first things first, I definitely want to express is something like a gimmick. Maybe you guys all have like a very common gimmick between you all, whether it be like impacting or conjuring, as something as simple as I can think of, or just using a particular set of lights, or even using a particular set of colors. You can actually have that as your team. I'm not saying that you have to stick with those, but you can. Maybe if you want to everybody wears a particular mask, while you guys go to festivals and stuff, as a way of representing your team. Something, in my opinion, when it comes to a lot of teams and really getting the team name out there, it's pretty much all about brand recognition and really, just putting it out there. I can certainly tell you that when I came up with my team LPD, it was not for brand recognition. It was literally, I just wanted to make a team at the time, and I had my younger brother and another friend who wanted to be a part of it, and we just put it together. So, with that being said, you gotta figure out something that's going to work in terms of your name. I usually try to find something that has a commonality between everybody, if you want it to be that way. Another one that a lot of people kind of go with are like philosophies or dedications to the team, where it kind of helps, evoke the ethos that you guys kind of abide by, or a mantra of some sort. The funny thing is that when it comes to team names, you can pretty much go anywhere with it. I never really saw any level of restriction in terms of names besides ones that are already taken, or acronyms that are already taken as well, especially if they're very well known. Definitely keep that in mind. So How do you design a team name? That is a great question. First things first, I want to explain that there are two different ways that I've seen people kind of design names, and that's a top-down design or a bottom-up design. Now, what do I mean by a top-down design is when it comes to team names, that you have the team name, but 9 times out of 10 the team name is also going to have an acronym. So if you think of like Lords of Lights, LOL, AO, Are You Okay, TNT, Tuts and Trance, PM, Puppet Masters, Last Lightbenders, LLB. There are plenty of teams out there that have their own acronyms. Visions of Intricate Designs, Void. So, a top-down design to me is that you look at the acronym and then you try to fill in the acronym with whatever team name you want to use. So, for example, like with my team name of LPD, main reason why I wanted LPD is because I was dedicating pretty much all of this to my husband, and because he's an amazing person who has done so much in my life. The main reason why I was doing this is because since I'm dedicating my own Glover name to him, and I also wanted my team to kind of reflect that, LPD is pretty much the call sign of the particular ship that he was on, also known as Dubuque, and its call sign was LPD-8. Now, I can certainly tell you that ship has been decommissioned and is now sitting in the ship graveyard out in Washington, which I know he wants to go see very soon. Hopefully we can. But yes, so if you guys actually know the little background about my Glover's name and the team name, that's pretty much where it came from. And so I had LPD as the team acronym, okay? And I had to figure out what it was going to mean. We sat there and bounced different ideas around to try to make it work. Lunar Phantom Drones was the one that came up a lot. But I will certainly tell you that we have settled on Lights Practically Dance. And that was the idea. I felt like Lights Practically Dance, codified what my team was going to be about. It was literally us just making the lights practically dance. That was the idea, is that we love gloving to the point that all we care about is seeing those lights dance around. So there you go. That's how my team name came to be, and that's how you come up with a top-down design. All right, now there is a bottom-up design, which in my opinion, there is one that I can think of that would make a great example of what makes a bottom-up design. And it's one of the older teams, AO, Are You Okay? It's a question. It's literally a sentence that they turn into a team name. So to me, that is a bottom-up design. They didn't really sit there and be like, okay, I want the acronym to look like this, and now I got to figure out what the acronym means. I feel like it just culminated from, them asking a very common question, which is, are you okay? And it became the team name. And of course, when you look at the acronym now, it's AO. So I never really sat there and thought, yeah, they did that all on purpose. I think it just, how it formulated the way it did became the way it did. And I feel like that is a more of a bottom-up design, of course. And then I can certainly tell you so many people have made teams that never got a name or was just never able to find a good name. And sometimes you find names that just work by just happenstance. So just to use Starlight's little background information with her team name, she was sitting there talking about how she had the idea of what her team was going to be about, what it was going to represent and stuff, but just didn't have a name set in stone. And then she decided that she was going to rewatch the Avatar Last Airbender series, and somebody in her group just said, hey, Last Lightbenders would be a dope-ass name for a team. And there you go. So that's just one of the big examples. I just want to tell you guys that when it comes to your team names, it really doesn't matter. It just needs to reflect what your team is going to be about, or what you want your team to be about. Another way a lot of people have done it, and you've seen this everywhere else. You have everybody on the team submit, an idea for the team name, and then you guys vote on it and go from there. And I know some people were like, well, I think everybody would get a little too attached to their own personal name that they came up with. That may be true, but this is a group effort, and so it needs group input. And if the group wants a particular name and you don't want that name to be used, then you gotta figure out how to settle it with your teammates, because that's what you need to do. So you have those various ways of coming up with names. I would certainly say when it comes to doing the top-down design, definitely be careful with the acronym you're going with, mostly just because there's actually a lot of acronyms being used. You got things like no name, which is NN. There's just a lot. And I will certainly say, if you're trying to come up with a good gloving team name and you want to make sure that it's not already taken, gloving.com has registered teams on there. So granted, this is for the competitive circuit. However, it does help. Another way you can do that is, of course, asking online, going to the various Facebook groups or going on Reddit and asking if anyone has any, is this team name taken? Does this sound like a cool team name? Feedback's always good. Don't hesitate to ask the community for some feedback. All right. But yes, I think that is pretty much all for my episode. Do want to thank you all for making it to this far, even though this is a really short episode. And, it's kind of funny how I thought this might be a little bit longer, but it's not. It's about team names, and so there's not much to go in it. Either way, that's pretty much all for my episode. Again, thank you so much for listening to this, to this podcast. It means a whole lot to me that you guys actually tune in every week to listen and hear what I have to say. Of course, if you have any questions, I do have the various outlets that you can hit me up at, especially on questions I have not covered in this episode. But first of all, you can definitely go onto my Facebook page, which is aptly named The Gloving Paradigm. I am always on there, so do not hesitate to hit me up there. Of course, I am also on Reddit, which is under the username MuttonChopGuy. And of course, my email is muttonchopguy@gmail.com. Those are other two various places you can hit me up at. And of course, I do have a Discord server, which is linked in this episode's description down below. So if you want to get on there, it's absolutely for free. Don't hesitate to get there. But other than that, I just want to once again say thank you so much for you guys' support. It absolutely means everything to me. It is the most humbling experience to know that I have you guys' silent, continued moral support to keep going. And I hope everything has been going well on your end. I hope that things are starting to open up in your state so that you can guys actually get out there and actually not be so quarantined in your house. I can certainly tell you that it's starting to happen here, so hopefully things start changing for me and things start to move much more smoothly. I will certainly say that there are a couple things in the works that I want to get going. I just have to spend some time to work on it. So, if you have any other ideas that you want me to cover, don't hesitate to let me know about that too. But yes, that is it. That is all for my episode. Once again, thank you guys so much for listening in. This show would not be possible without your guys' support. So I love you guys, but I am your host, Peter, aka LPD8 Dubuque, and I'll see you guys all next week.